So today I'm going to do a new run. This is my first time on this trail. And a big part of why I thought I would share this run isn't even the fact that it's a new trail, but the fact that I so badly don't want to do this. I am sick and tired of running. I wish I could express to you in my feelings how much I don't want to. And yet, yes, there's a part of me that's dragged me out here. And that is for those of you who are beginning runners, who are like, oh, you gotta love it. And it's like, he loves running all the time. It's like, no, I don't. I mean, some people do, but not everyone. And I really, really badly don't want to be out here. Now, I will tell you that I don't have that much to run, which is a good thing. I only have about 8 miles that I need to run. So that's good. But honestly, I am just absolutely, it's hard. Like I said, if I had to express it, I would say I have 2 very, very powerful forces in a tug of war inside me. And one of them is just barely winning. The force that doesn't want to go out, which feels exactly as it would feel to you. And then the force that is like, no, we got to come out here and do this. And it is only barely winning. It only barely got me out here. But I don't want to be here. Nevertheless, it is time to start our run. So now that we're here, let's get started. So, as I said, this is just just desperately not wanting to be here. Badly. I feel tired. This has been a long week of more exercise than I'm supposed to be doing. It is way too much. So why am I out here then? Well, I'll tell you some of the things that I do so you get an idea, because maybe that'll help you. And some of what I do is build momentum. So when I feel beforehand, it's like, the day before or hours before, I already prepare my stuff. For example, my running outfit. A couple of hours before I even start my run, I'm already in my running outfit. I already have my checklist for things that I'm going to bring on a run. So I know what I need. The whole point is I try to reduce the friction to getting out here as much as possible. Now, there is just going to be some friction that I cannot get rid of. For example, the feeling that I don't want to be out here. That I just can't get rid of. But there are other little things. For example, when you go to the gym and you're like, oh, I forgot this, I forgot that. Well, all of that is out of the way. So that the only resistance I have to running is just my feelings. And there was something I learned long ago, and that is that feelings, oh yes, they are very real. And as a matter of fact, we should have a long discussion about neuroscience. But for now, feelings are real and they're important. But there are times when you can push feelings aside for a moment and do what you gotta do. And if you repeatedly push yourself, you can overcome it. And the force that gets you there also starts to become stronger. Now, this is different from runners who are already good runners or who love running, because I do know those two. Most runners that you'll see on videos, they will be like, oh, I love running. Can't wait to go on a run. And for them, that's great, because the very joy of going out. And I imagine to them, it's a lot like when I would tutor my students and we talk about going to the park. And they're like, oh yeah, let's go to the park. Ah. I'm not like that. I'd rather be in the couch right now. Actually, at this moment, I am accepting. I am resigned to the fact that I'm already out here, already running. I'm already... What are you gonna do? What am I gonna do? Give up? Go back home now that I'm out here? That's why when I tell you to try a run and do 1 mile, what I'm actually telling you is to conquer probably what is the biggest obstacle for most of us, and that is just getting out here. The actual effort, that is a separate strategy than that one. What do I do? What did I do? Because I'm different now. Well, I would take it easy. Make sure that what I did was entirely possible and doable. So I wasn't going to try to win a marathon. Just going to take it easy. Already done a half a mile. No point turning back now, right? One very important thing that I do once I'm out here, and remember I told you to take it easy. Well, what that does is whatever is take it easy for you. So you don't want to run at my pace, but whatever's your easy pace, you should start to notice that your, the circulation kicking in after a mile should make you feel much more capable. And that's important. I've always said that we change while we're running. And that's what happens to me. And I've heard others say the same. After about the first 10 to 20 minutes, because I still don't feel like I can do this run. But every minute that I continue and as circulation continues, little by little, what I feel is more competent. What I also feel is that there is a monster inside of me. He's the one who pushes me. And every mile, he gets a little stronger. The engine that pushes me, he gets stronger. So I just have to take it nice and easy for the first few miles, just enough so that the monster in me can take over. Once he takes over, we're okay. Another thing that I also resist, or another thing that made me feel resistant to coming out here right now, was that this is a new trail. And as you can tell, this is in kind of a questionable part of LA. It's not the prettiest. The thing is, it's an unknown. And believe it or not, sometimes the unknown, I don't like it. I don't want to do it. And so, there we are, 1 mile. So that added to my resistance. So, in other words, it would have been easier for me to go to my other, more familiar trails. But I think it's valuable that every once in a while, you look for something new. And you try it. And so, that's what we gotta do today, is try something new. And trust that once we've tried it, we will like it. Or at least we'll know it better. And so we won't be so resistant next time. Miles. Bugs. So usually by the third mile, I've accepted my fate. 5 miles. Okay, 5.15. Turn around. Let's head back. If you look that way, you'll see that's Rio Hondo. That's the other bike trail we run. We go up this way and we can reach that bike trail. So if I wanted to do a loop back up Rio Hondo, I take that part. Of course, if I'm not mistaken, from here to Grand Rea Park, where I start the Rio Hondo run, is about 10 miles. So it'll be quite a run if I did that. We got a half mile to go. So let's hurry up. Okay, we are done with the run and the cool down. So that's where we came from. Let's get out of here. Okay, so we just finished with the run. It was a little more than 9.25 miles. So we actually, as is often the case, we exceeded ourselves by a little more than a mile. Because remember, the run was only going to be 8 miles. And I hope you got a little bit of how I overcome my very strong resistance to wanting to run, which is, it's been my gimmick for a long time, but I sometimes need to continue to reiterate because folks will see how much I run and you're like, he must like it. And it's like, no, I need to remind you, there are times that I really don't. And I really have this struggle trying to get myself out there. Once I do the run, I deal with it and I am victorious and I do not regret having done it. And that also helps to reinforce and strengthen my resolve for the next time that I'm doing it. And that's a very important thing. Now, where we started, there is actually a park, as you might have noticed, about a half mile south, so that if you wanted to park your car in a place where there's more, a little more recreation, and just like the other trails where you start off at a park or something, you could start off at the park and then go south. Other than that, the LA River Trail, it's not a pretty trail. I mean, I got to be honest. It is not one of the prettier trails, but the asphalt, the bike trail itself, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly doable. There's no real problems other than it just doesn't look too pretty around. LA River, I mean, it's not the Santa Ana River. That trail is always beautiful. This one, yeah. As a matter of fact, at night, I probably wouldn't be doing that trail at night because some of the neighborhoods there are a little questionable. Although, to be honest, the Santa Ana River Trail, which is beautiful, I wouldn't touch that one either at night. Many trails probably you shouldn't do that at night. So that's not actually really a criticism against it. Other than that, like I said, the area itself, the run, the fact that it joins with the Rio Hondo was something that I thought was pretty good, because maybe one day we can actually do a run from it starts off in Vernon, by the way. You'll see it in the map. And we could run there. We could hit the Rio Hondo and return. Of course, that would be about a 14-mile run. I can do that. We'll try it sometime. So other than that, I do hope you can see that even though you resist running, you can sometimes prepare and encourage yourself to go on the run anyway and challenge yourself, because I always say don't forget that.